I mean, I was there the weekend that he died, and it was some of the things were awful, like the way that they reacted to it, and then. I mean, it's a real buzzword for me. Just be vulnerable. Like, it's all right to feel the way that you do. Like, we're human beings, we're affected by very different things. You know, where there's so many different things going on that, you know, sometimes it is difficult to contain your emotions. But really, one thing that I've found that's really helped me is having a variety of different avenues to help me explore these thoughts and these feelings, and which is, you know, I think has really helped to progress my mental health. It was never really bad, but obviously it comes in kind of waves, so I've been able to have different outlets where, like, you know, if I have something that is really pressing that I need to talk about, I can either call my dad, I can call Dan, or I can call my girlfriend, or I can go for a walk and, you know, ask myself some questions that help me trigger a certain amount of things. Do that. I think another thing, like what I've been reading a lot on recently, is about how men act, and they're not so mindful of it. So, you know, like name calling, teasing women, you know, like even just kind of like play fighting can have like really negative connotations on how it impacts another person. So just be really mindful of the way that you're acting, because, you know, you don't want to trigger something in their mind just from something that you've done. So, ready? Why is male suicide rate so high? I think that it's down to a variety of different issues. We kind of explore them in a variety of ways through our workshop series, but I think probably the main reason is due to, and one of the reasons I'm so invested into it, is the way that society perceives men. So what it means to be masculine in the current day still sticks to those norms that probably existed 50, 60 years ago, when the man went out to work, the woman you know, did the cooking, cleaning, looked after the children. And I think, like, with the rise of the feminist movement, which is fantastic, you know, equal rights is something that we're really invested in. Men feel a little bit demotivated, demasculated by the rise of femininity. So what we're trying to do is really open the doors on communication, really create safe spaces for men to come and express how they're feeling. And, you know, there's a lot of different campaigns and a lot of different movements out there, but we actually want to stand alongside with men and really understand what is going on with them, and then help them create their own mechanisms to be able to cope with that. I mean, there's like, Dan is amazing. So Dan's story, he wanted to commit suicide when he was 13. He was bullied for he said that he was labelled things that he didn't even know what they meant when they were said to him from a young age. So he's been a real inspiration for me. I actually, my dad as well. So he went through a really tough couple of years, and the way he was able to finally open himself up and be completely vulnerable, I really admired. So I've had some really influential and positive male role models, which isn't, you know, necessarily the norm in the current day. So still a lot of work to do, but we're getting there. I mean, there's a lot of great charities that are now doing some great work to recognise, like, what men are actually going through. I think people are becoming a lot more mindful of it, but you know, there's still like toxic masculinity still exists. You look at sex trafficking figures, you look at domestic abuse, child abuse. All these things stem from how a man feels about himself, unfortunately, and then that is a direct reflection of the way they act. So it's getting better, I believe. I think, you know, especially like with the press that male suicide is getting, there's definitely it's definitely on people's agenda, but we need to do a lot more work with men. So yeah, I mean, I grew up playing a pretty high level of football, so I've seen different types of masculinity from a young age. I mean, there was, when I was playing semi-pro for Winchester City when I was 16, and it was full of men who were 25, you get to see a lot of different things, and I'm sure that hasn't changed. So yeah, I think there's so many different factors that come into it, but one thing that we really try and promote is that vulnerability, really putting yourselves into situations and talking about it, even if you are down the pub. Like, if you're not alright, talk to your mates. Saw something on Instagram the other day from like someone that I met years ago, and the caption was something like, don't just text your mate to see if he's alright, pick up the phone. Actually, don't even pick up the phone to see if your mate's alright. Like, go and see him. And like, it's probably something that we're not doing so much in the current day. It's just like, you're right, mate. Yeah, I'm fine. What do you think of the West Ham score yesterday? Like, that's kind of the way it is. I'd love to see David Beckham. I love David Beckham, but I would love to see David Beckham interviewed, because I think even like the stuff that's kind of going on in the media now with, apparently Victoria sat all the kids down and told them that the affair isn't true and all this stuff. So I'd love to see like what was going on there. I've had some really good conversations with David Gandy about mental health, so he'd be a good person. And probably Dan, actually, because he's like been in the thick of it. You know, he's been at the lowest, at the highest, and in between. So
Yeah,
cool.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, really good.